You feel the fire inside. You have a big dream. You tell everyone you know. But then the fire starts to fade. You feel stuck, lost, and tired. Why does this happen every time? Here is the secret. Your words are stealing your progress. Lesson 1. The trap of early talking. Let us talk about the biggest trap that ruins your potential. It is the trap of speaking too soon. Think about it. You get a fresh idea. Maybe you decide to start a new business, learn a new skill, or finally change your daily habits. You feel a surge of energy. Your mind is buzzing. You feel like a winner already. And because you are so excited, you want to share that feeling. You tell your friends. You post it on social media. You tell your family. And for a moment, it feels great. People say, "That is awesome." Good for you. You can do it. That feedback gives you a little hit of dopamine. Your brain feels satisfied, like you have already achieved the goal. But here is the danger. Your brain cannot tell the difference between talking about success and actually doing the work. When you announce your plans to the world, you get a shortcut to that feeling of pride. You feel like you have already moved forward, but in reality, you have done nothing. You have not put in the hours. You have not faced the struggle. You have not sacrificed anything. Because your brain feels rewarded by the talk, your hunger starts to fade. The urgency that was driving you disappears. You feel less motivated to do the hard work because you already enjoyed the applause. This is why so many people start with big energy but finish nothing. They celebrate the idea instead of building the reality. They are addicted to the talk, not the grind. But look at the people who actually make it, the ones who build empires or master their craft. They do not run around announcing every step. They protect their excitement. They keep that energy locked inside and channel it directly into action. They wake up early when no one is watching. They study when no one is cheering. They improve step by step, day by day, while everyone else is still busy talking. They know that talking gives you temporary satisfaction, but working gives you permanent results. So stop giving away your energy. Control that excitement, save it for the work, and let your results do the shouting later. Lesson 2. The shield against jealousy. When you start chasing a big goal, something strange often happens. Not everyone around you will be happy for your progress. Some people will cheer you on, sure, but others will feel uncomfortable. Why? Because your ambition acts like a mirror. It forces them to look at their own lives. It reminds them of the dreams they walked away from, the risks they were too afraid to take, and the discipline they never bothered to build. Instead of working on themselves, some people will try to pull you back down to their level. Sometimes they do it openly. They might say, "That is way too hard for you," or "Maybe you should be more realistic," or "People like us just do not do things like that." Other times, the negativity is more subtle. They laugh at your ideas, they question your talent, or they keep bringing up your past mistakes. Little by little, they try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. And that is dangerous, because belief is the fuel for your journey. Every great achievement starts with a rock-solid belief in what is possible. The moment that belief starts to crack, your effort weakens, your focus slips, and your courage fades. Many people quit before they even get started, not because their dream was impossible, but because they let too many negative voices into their head. This is exactly why silence is your most powerful shield. When people do not know your plans, they cannot attack your vision. They cannot plant doubt where there is no opening. They cannot drain your confidence because they do not even know what you are building. By keeping your goals private, you protect your energy. You keep your focus sharp and your path clear. Then, one day, the magic happens. The same people who doubted you, the ones who questioned your ambition or even laughed at your ideas, will suddenly see the results. They will look at what you have built and ask, "How did you do this?" But they will miss the point. They will think it happened overnight. They will not see the months or years of quiet, patient work you put in while they were busy talking. That is the beauty of silence. Protect your dream until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Not every seed needs to be exposed to the storm. Sometimes it must grow deep underground before it is ready to break through the surface and become something no one can ignore. Lesson 3. Too many opinions. When your goal is fresh and new, it is incredibly fragile. Think of it like a tiny flame in a strong wind. That flame has the potential to turn into a roaring fire, but right now it needs protection. The biggest threat to that flame? An overload of opinions. When you tell everyone your plan, you do not just get support, you get a flood of advice, confusion, and heavy expectations. Suddenly, you are not just listening to your own heart anymore, you are drowning in a sea of other people's voices. At the start, your dream might feel crystal clear. You know exactly what you want to build and why you want to build it. It feels right. But then you tell someone, they say, that is not practical. You tell someone else and they say, why not try it this way instead? A third person tells you your path is too slow. Before you know it, your mind is cluttered. You are no longer moving with confidence. You are carrying the weight of their fears, their doubts, and their personal limitations. This is how many great ideas die before they even get off the ground. They are buried under the weight of outside opinions. You have to realize that not everyone sees the world through your eyes. Not everyone shares your hunger, your pain, or your vision. Some people give advice based on their own failures. Others judge your future using the narrow lens of their own past. If you listen to too many people, you will start to doubt the very things that were once obvious to you. This is why strong, successful people are incredibly selective. They do not open their minds to every passing comment. They guard their inner world because they know that a distracted mind cannot build a powerful life. Think about how many people stay stuck for years simply because they gave away their power to the wrong voices. They wanted to start, they had the drive, but they let one person make them afraid and another make them confused. Eventually, they stopped moving entirely. Silence is not just about keeping things private. It is about mental protection. It protects your clarity, your courage, and your direction. When you keep your plans to yourself, you give yourself the space to think, to fail, to learn, and to grow without the noise of the crowd. That space is precious. A person who can think clearly without the interference of others is already miles ahead of the rest. Lesson 4. Your vision is your vision. You expect everyone to understand a vision that was given only to you. Take a second to really let that sink in. Not everyone will get it. And honestly, they do not have to. Your dream was planted in your heart, not theirs. Your calling, your drive, and your hunger are yours alone. So, why do so many people end up feeling hurt or discouraged? It is because they keep hunting for validation from people who were never meant to see their path. This is a massive trap. You have a vision, you get excited, and you run to your circle hoping for a high five or a thumbs up. When you get a blank stare or a negative reaction, you start questioning yourself. You think, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I should just give up. But the problem is not your dream. The problem is that you are asking the wrong people for approval. You have to understand a harsh truth. People can only see the world through the lens of their own experiences and their own level of courage. If someone has spent their entire life playing it safe, they will never understand your need to take risks. If someone is content with just getting by, they cannot grasp your hunger for growth. And that is perfectly fine. It does not mean your vision is flawed. It just means it was not meant for them. Think of a seed buried deep in the soil. From the outside, it looks like there is nothing there. People might walk by and see nothing but dirt. They might even laugh at the idea that something is growing. But underground, the work is happening. The roots are spreading, the shell is breaking, and life is taking shape. Your vision is just like that seed. The most important growth in your life is often completely invisible in the beginning. Stop demanding that the whole world clap for your journey. You do not need their permission to keep going. Real strength is showing up every day, even when no one is cheering. It is building your future when no one else can see the blueprint. True maturity is realizing that you do not need the world to believe in you, as long as you believe in what you are building. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Stop waiting for support that may never come. Your vision is your life, and it is your job to protect it, honor it, and bring it to reality, whether the crowd understands it or not. Lesson 5. Conceal your intentions. This lesson is about wisdom. It is about understanding that not every thought inside your head needs to be broadcast to the world before it is ready. To conceal your intentions is to stop feeling the urge to explain every move you make. You stop announcing your goals, you stop trying to prove yourself before you have even started, and you stop giving everyone a front row seat to your work in progress. This is a powerful discipline because many people have a weakness. They are addicted to being seen. They crave the attention, the likes, and the validation of others. They want people to know what they are planning, what they are building, and what they are about to become. But when you reveal everything too early, you leak your own power. You lose the mystery, and you lose the protection that silence provides. A person who shows all their cards at the start is easy to influence, easy to distract, and easy to stop. But the person who moves in silence, they are a different breed. They are harder to read, harder to block, and much harder to shake. Instead of wasting their energy on endless explanations, they invest that energy into execution. Think of a master builder. They do not stand in an empty lot every day giving speeches about how the house will look. They just work. Brick by brick, floor by floor, they build in silence. Then, one day, people look up and are shocked by what stands before them. That is real power. There is something incredibly mature about someone who does not need to talk about their next move. It shows self-control. It shows that you are not here to impress people with your words. You are here to build something that lasts. Most people speak from ego. They want the applause before they have done the work. They want the glory before the grind. But life does not reward big talk. It rewards consistent action. When you conceal your intentions, you keep your energy intact. It does not leak out through constant chatter. It stays locked inside your discipline and your daily routine. Furthermore, you protect yourself from the pressure of the crowd. When you tell everyone your plan, you are suddenly performing for an audience. People start asking questions, expecting updates, and judging your progress. That pressure can force you to act for appearances rather than real growth. But when you keep your goals to yourself, you stay free. You are free to fail in private, free to learn from your mistakes without shame, and free to adjust your path without needing permission. That freedom is where the magic happens. Protect your process, guard your energy, and let your results be the only announcement you ever need to make. Lesson 6. Protect your focus. Now, we need to talk about the backbone of any transformation, your focus. Without it, even the most talented person will struggle to make progress. Without focus, your ambition becomes a scattered mess. You have to guard your attention like it is the most valuable currency you own, because it is. In today's world, people lose their focus for the smallest reasons. A random comment from a stranger, a minor setback, or the need to impress others. These are the things that steal your energy. This is exactly why sharing your plans too early is dangerous. The moment you let everyone into your mental space, you lose your edge. Some people will offer unsolicited advice, some will doubt your ability, and others will just compare their lives to yours. Suddenly, your mind is no longer your own. You are spending your mental energy wondering what they think, whether they support you, or if they are judging your every move. That is a trap. The second your focus shifts to other people's opinions, your progress slams into a wall. A person with true focus is dangerous in the best way possible. They keep their energy locked on one target. They do not stop every hour to explain their path or look over their shoulder to see who is watching. They just keep going. You have to understand that focus is not just about concentration, it is about protection. It is about drawing a line in the sand and saying, "This matters, and I will not let the noise of the world take me away from it." Think about sunlight. When it is spread out, it is just warm. But when you use a magnifying glass to concentrate that light, it can burn through anything. That is what focus does to your life. It turns your ordinary efforts into real momentum. It turns a simple dream into something solid and undeniable. People who stay stuck for years are usually the ones who let their minds get pulled in 10 different directions. They start, they get excited, they talk, they get distracted, and then they stop. Silence is your best friend here. It protects your attention. When fewer people know your business, fewer people interrupt your flow. When you are not surrounded by constant chatter, your own inner voice becomes much louder and much clearer. You stop living for the applause and start living for the results. You have to be ruthless about what you allow into your mind. If you keep giving your attention to distractions, your life will stay distracted. But if you protect your focus and pour it into something meaningful, your life will eventually reflect that power. Never trade your long-term vision for a short-term opinion. Guard your focus, feed it with consistent action, and watch how quickly the impossible becomes your new reality. Lesson 7. The energy of goals. Let us dive into something deeper regarding your goals. Every objective you set carries a specific kind of energy, not the physical kind you can touch, but a mental and emotional force that drives you forward. When you truly want to change, your mind sharpens, your focus narrows, and you start moving with real intent. You wake up with a mission. You walk with a purpose. However, in the early stages, this energy is incredibly fragile. It is like a new spark that needs to be sheltered from a cold wind. This is exactly why talking too much about your plans is such a massive mistake. When you constantly tell everyone what you are about to do, you are essentially leaking your own fuel. Think about it. Your brain craves rewards. When you announce a big plan to your friends, you get an immediate hit of satisfaction. They tell you it is a great idea, they cheer you on, and for a moment, you feel like you have already succeeded. But that feeling is a lie. Your brain thinks you have crossed the finish line because it has already received the social reward of the achievement. Because of this false sense of progress, your internal hunger starts to die down. The fire you felt yesterday turns into a lukewarm feeling today. You stop feeling that desperate need to work, to struggle, and to push through the hard days. You have traded your actual progress for a few words of empty praise. A powerful goal requires quiet energy. It needs that intensity to be channeled into your discipline, your late-night study sessions, and your daily practice. If you waste that emotional energy on endless conversation, you will have nothing left for the actual work. Remember, talking is easy, but building is hard. Save your energy. Keep it locked inside. Let your actions consume that energy instead of your words. When you stop leaking your motivation through small talk, you will be surprised at how much faster you actually start moving. Lesson 8. Let success speak for itself. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is to let your results do the heavy lifting for you. In our world, so many people try to look successful before they have even started the work. They are desperate for attention and recognition. They want the world to believe in them right away, so they talk, they explain, and they try to sell their future with empty words. But here is the reality. Words are cheap. Anyone can claim they are going to do something big. Anyone can paint a pretty picture of their plans. But life does not care about your promises. It only respects the proof. Proof only comes from results. This is why disciplined people do not rush to explain themselves. They do not feel the need to impress anyone with their speeches. They understand that real success is impossible to hide forever. If you are actually grinding, if you are truly improving, and if you are building something of value, people will notice on their own. You do not need to convince them. You do not need to argue. You do not need to defend your choices with long, drawn-out explanations. Your results will speak for you, and they will speak much louder than any words ever could. Think about two people. One person talks about their big plans every single day. The other person says nothing, but they show up and work every single day. After a year, who do you think people will actually respect? The one who talked or the one who built something real? The answer is obvious. True respect is earned through evidence, not excitement. You should get comfortable with being underestimated. You should be perfectly fine with people not knowing your next move. Get comfortable with making progress in the shadows. While others are busy explaining themselves to anyone who will listen, you are moving forward. And when the results finally surface, something beautiful happens. You will not have to defend your dream anymore. The work itself becomes the answer. That is a position of true power. So, talk less about what you are going to do and show more of what you have already achieved. Success that speaks through results will always be stronger than success that exists only in your head. Lesson 9. Silence is your superpower. Many people make the mistake of thinking silence is a sign of weakness. They assume that being quiet means you are insecure, or that you simply have nothing to contribute. But in reality, silence is one of the most potent sources of strength you can ever tap into. When you stop narrating every single plan or move you make, something shifts within you. Your energy becomes centered, your attention becomes razor sharp, and your actions become deeply intentional. You stop chasing external validation, you stop begging for approval, and you stop needing the crowd to clap for you. Instead, you get obsessed with the only thing that actually matters: progress. A person who moves in silence is dangerous in the best way possible. While others are busy explaining their dreams to anyone who will listen, you are in the lab, grinding away. While they are trying to impress the world with their words, you are busy building the foundation for your future. While they are seeking attention, you are preparing to shock them with your results. Silence gives you the breathing room to become stronger. When your growth happens away from the spotlight, away from the noise, and away from the opinions of the crowd, it builds a foundation that is impossible to break. Think about the most incredible transformations you have seen. Often, they happen in the quietest seasons of life. They happen in the early mornings when no one is watching, in the late nights of private study, and in the long stretches of discipline where you are the only one who knows the goal. Then, one day, after months or years of this dedicated work, the results finally break the surface. People notice. They see the growth, the change, and the success. They will ask you how you did it, and you will know the truth. It happened because you had the patience to stay silent and the discipline to stay focused. So, never underestimate the power of quiet progress. Sometimes, the loudest success stories are written during the chapters of your life where you said the least. Learn to respect your silence. Value it. Use it as a tool. When silence becomes your greatest strength, your progress becomes unstoppable. Stop talking about your plans, protect them, and build them in the quiet. And when the time is right, let your results make so much noise that no one can ignore you. The bottom line is this: the world is full of noise, but your future is built in silence. You have seen the trap of talking too early, the danger of seeking approval, and the power of protecting your focus. You now understand that your vision is yours alone to carry, and that your results will always speak louder than any words you could ever say. The path to a life most people only dream about is not paved with announcements. It is built with quiet, consistent and disciplined action. So, make a choice today. Stop giving away your energy to those who do not understand your journey. Protect your inner fire. Trust the process even when it feels lonely. And stay committed to your path when no one is watching. If you found value in these lessons and want to keep leveling up your mindset, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are here to grow together, one step at a time. Now go out there, keep your plans private, and start building the life you were meant to live. Your future self will thank you for the silence you kept today.